Hey, it's Adriana. I know you're listening to a podcast called How to Drink Less, but if you already know that alcohol doesn't belong in your life and you're done trying to moderate, I have something for you. I want to show you how to break up with alcohol for good and never look back. Because it's not sobriety itself you're resisting. You're resisting the way you've tried to do it until now, with rules and willpower and self-discipline. That version is exhausting. Nobody wants that. But in my coaching program, we don't just remove alcohol. We retrain your brain so you stop wanting it. And when you don't feel like you need to drink, sobriety becomes effortless and joyful and free. That's what I want for you. For sobriety to feel not like punishment, but like the reward. Book your free consultation via the link in the show notes, and let's do this. You're listening to How to Drink Less, and I'm your host, Adriana Cloud. Whether your goal is to cut back, take a break, or say goodbye to alcohol for good, this podcast will help you stop drinking on autopilot, learn how to manage cravings, and feel fully in control around alcohol. It's easier than you think. Listen on to find out how. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for a very special episode. I want to celebrate with you, and I want to talk about the importance of celebration. I start every client session asking my clients to share some wins from the past week so we could celebrate. And it's amazing how hard that is for most people, especially in the beginning. Because by the time most people invest in a sobriety coach, they have already tried to quit drinking a number of times, and they haven't been able to make sobriety stick. So by the time we start working together, my clients tend to be very self-critical and to focus on the failures, on how they're still struggling to stop at 2 drinks, or how they have the best intention on Monday morning, but by the time 6 p.m. rolls around, they're calling a girlfriend to meet them at the bar. My clients see these behaviors as signs that they're failing and that things are going wrong and that there's nothing to celebrate. But you know what happens when you get stuck on what's not working and on all the things you haven't yet achieved? First of all, that feels miserable. When you tell yourself you're failing, that's not really very motivating, is it? And second of all, not only does it feel bad, but when that's what you're focusing on, you're more likely to stay stuck or to give up completely because you're telling yourself it's not working, and I'm going to guess that makes you feel helpless, if not hopeless. And we all do this. That's the human brain. That's how we're generally wired. We have a negativity bias, so we tend to overemphasize the bad things rather than the good things. I think it's something like 3-1, maybe, the tendency towards the negative versus positive. So what that means is we have to work extra hard to notice the positive. It doesn't matter exactly what the ratio is, but the point to remember is that as long as you keep measuring yourself against the things that you haven't yet achieved, you're always going to find yourself wanting. You will be falling short. Whereas if you compare yourself to where you used to be and see how far you've come, that feels so much better. And when you feel better, you're so much more likely to continue to do the things that are working. And that's why I start every session asking my clients to share some wins. When you pause to acknowledge a win, to celebrate what you did well, your brain learns to do more of that. Because when you celebrate, you get a dopamine hit. And the brain wants to repeat the thing that felt good. That's how we have evolved to be as a species, to do more of the things that feel good, because those tend to be the things that are important for our survival, such as having sex and eating food. Those ensure the survival of the species, and because they feel good, we're more likely to continue to do them. Now, listen to this very carefully. It doesn't matter how big or small the win is. You get to decide what counts as a win. There are no rules. You listening to this podcast because you want to drink less, that's a win. Pouring half a glass of wine down the drain rather than finishing it, a win. Slowing down before pouring a drink, a win. Noticing how you feel in your body after two drinks before you decide whether you need a third drink, yes, you guessed it, that's a win. Notice that these examples are not necessarily about how much you drink. Reducing the number of drinks you have is not the only way you get to measure success. Slowing down is also progress. Awareness of your patterns, even if you can't always interrupt them, is also progress. There's no one stopping you. You decide what counts. For bonus points, I encourage you to pause and ask yourself, what helped me to achieve this? What helped me to create that win? Because otherwise, if you don't pause to ask how you created the win, you might start to feel like it just happened to you accidentally and that it's out of your control to do it again. Versus, if you can understand what helped you to get the win, then you know how to do it again next time. It builds confidence in your skills, as well as adding up to your evidence bank that change is possible and you are changing. Here's why I wanted to do an episode on celebration today, because I'm about to hit 5,000 downloads for this podcast. It's a big number, 5,000 downloads. And as I approach this milestone, there are so many different ways I could tell myself this story. I could tell myself that I should have hit that number months ago and that I should be at 10,000 downloads by now. I could compare myself to other podcasts that have much bigger audiences and more reviews. But guess what? I got here on my own timeline, and I'm going to celebrate myself because this work matters to me. And I have showed up every week to do something that matters to me. And that alone is worth celebrating, regardless of how many downloads each episode gets. And that's how I want you to think about the work that you're doing to change your relationship with alcohol. You are showing up every day to work on something that matters to you. And that alone is worth celebrating. I know some of you will want to argue with me. You will tell me that I don't get it, that you really haven't made any progress with your drinking, and you're stuck and you have nothing to celebrate. But I'm going to challenge that. I bet you that's not true. And also, looking for wins and celebrating, that's a skill. So, like any other skill, you get better at it the more you practice. I can't tell you how many times I hear from my clients, I don't know if this really counts as a win, it's so small. But if you've ever tried to assemble IKEA furniture, you know that even one screw in the right place is definitely worth celebrating. So here's how you practice noticing wins and celebrating. First, you decide how to expand your definition of progress and what a win is beyond how many drinks you've had. Too often, we get stuck on the number of drinks and the frequency of drinking, and when that hasn't gone down yet, we think we're failing. But my invitation for you is to consider that so many other things count as progress. Pausing before a refill is progress. Identifying the feeling that made you want to drink is progress. Noticing that you didn't even enjoy the taste of that third glass of wine is progress. These are all wins because that's you paying attention and getting to know your habit better. And the better you get to know your habit and your patterns, the easier it is to start interrupting those patterns. So here's your homework. Go look for some wins you can celebrate. And I'll help you with some questions you can ask yourself. The first one is, what can I do now that would have seemed impossible in the past? The second one is, what do I do more mindfully now that I would have done on autopilot before? And the third one is, what am I aware of now that I wasn't aware of before? These questions will help you see how far you've come. And then I want you to celebrate yourself. You get to choose how to celebrate. Maybe you want to journal about those wins and write down what helped you to achieve them. Maybe you want to just put your hand on your heart and quietly say thank you to yourself. Maybe you want to brag to another person. Actually, come and brag to me. My email is in the show notes, so email me and tell me what you're celebrating. Because maybe other people in your life won't get what a huge deal it is that you drove by the liquor store and did not stop. Or maybe they won't get how much strength it took to leave your drink unfinished. But I get it. I've been there and I get what it takes to do that. So come and share with me and let me celebrate with you. And if you want to work with me on collecting more wins and more reasons to celebrate yourself as you build your beautiful sober life, I would love to help you. Book a free call via the link in the show notes and let's talk and see if coaching is the right fit for you. And if you know someone who could benefit from a reminder to celebrate their wins, please share this episode with them. Take good care, my friends, and I'll talk to you next week. If you're looking for practical advice for how to say no to alcohol and say yes to yourself, you will want to get on my email list. Sign up to receive my free guide with 7 steps to kickstart your sobriety. The link is in the show notes, so go and grab it now, and I'll see you soon in your inbox.